Good morning, students, and welcome to College Physics 1301. In this video, I'm trying to tell you how the course is set up so you do not have any difficulties accessing your homework, quizzes, and the exams. So let's go directly to your Blackboard page. This is what you see when you get there. The syllabus tool, if you click on that, it tells you everything about how the course is set up. You have the contact information. If you ever want to come to the Central Campus and come to my office, this is the office number. This is the extension 1608 if you want to call me. And then this is, as you know, an online anytime course, both a lecture and the lab. The student learning outcomes are given here, so that's what you're expected to know after the course is done. The textbook for the course is freely available. There's a link here. I'm not clicking on that, but you can click on that and it'll take you to the OpenStax website where you can access the textbook. And to do well in this course, you have to use the textbook, especially when you're doing the homework. Textbook is a must. The grading formula is very interesting. If you look at the exams or the tests, there's only 15% for the tests. You have 3 tests and a final exam. So totally you have 4 exams. The final exam carries 10% of the grade. So in total, the exams only carry 25% of the total grade. Now that has been done to give you a good chance to score a high percentage in this course. The homework is 25%, the lab reports are 25%, and the quizzes are 25%. So each one of them is 25%. Okay, the course calendar is given here. This is just one way to access the calendar. There is a better method which I'm going to show you. But to begin with, you can see that the discussion board has to be turned in on the 10th. I think I made it due on the 12th, but here it's showing the 10th. So there is a Chapter 1 quiz that is due today. Chapter 1 quiz that's due today. It's an 8-week course, so you're expected to work almost continuously every day. But there is a regularity to that, there is a pattern to that, and there should be no confusion. So that's the calendar. It shows you what is due every single day. And the next week you have spring break, nothing is due, and so on. So the 8-week calendar is given there. Again, like I told you, I will get to the calendar in another way. That'll be the best method for you. Just wait for that. Now, the course policies, I'm not going to read each and every line and letter, but you got to go through it. I'm going to highlight the important parts. Number 1, exams will not be extended unless, unfortunately, there is a medical emergency, okay? And none of the assignments, quizzes, homework, and assignments, they will not be extended under any circumstances. If you miss it for whatever reason, that is it. Now, things might happen, and therefore, at the end of the course, I will drop one of the quizzes, one of the homeworks. I will drop those 2. Okay? Now, any attempt of plagiarism, using the internet or whatever, that will not be excused. There is nothing wrong in referring to other sources, but it should be in your own words. The quizzes are taken using what's called the UJA platform, and I'll show you that in a minute. But essentially, you have to watch a lecture video that I have created, and the questions are embedded in the video. So if you listen carefully and take notes, a question will come up based on what I already told you, and then you have to answer that. You can always go back, but you can't fast forward because I do not want you to skip. So that's the UJA quiz. And you have to take it in one sitting because otherwise it might reset and you'll have to start all over again. Remember that the quizzes will have to be manually graded, and so you will find a 0 until I grade it. And, I will grade the quizzes within a day. So if you find that your grade has not changed even after a couple of days, that's when you either reach out to me via email or go to Ask Your Class, which is even better. Even that I'll show you. Okay. Now the homework is submitted using WebAssign, and you can access that from your Blackboard, but you may just have to go and register. No money is to be paid because you've already paid for it with your tuition, okay? And then the work for the homework questions. You have to turn in all that work on Blackboard, and I'll show you where you turn it in. The work should include the formula, the substitution of data, and the answers with units. The work must be handwritten and scanned in as a single PDF. Nothing else will be accepted. No pictures, it should be a PDF. If the homework is completed on WebAssign, but the work is not turned in on Blackboard, the maximum credit that you can earn is 50%. So work is very important. And I'm going to show you a sample of the work, exactly how it should be for the homework and for the exams. All right. Number 3, lab reports. And lab reports are, again, to be submitted as given in the sample. So there's again a sample lab report, and the sample may not have an introduction at the beginning, but you have to have an introduction. The introduction is just a couple of lines where you tell me what you intend to do in the lab. What is the purpose of the lab? That's it. So add that, that's 5% of the grade, okay? Everything else is shown in the sample. I give you a printed sheet where you type in, you handwrite the answers. You may type in only 2 parts, the introduction and the conclusion. Everything else must be handwritten because handwritten comes with your signature, and I want you to do it, okay? It has to be handwritten. And again, it has to be turned in as a single PDF attachment. So that's about the lab reports. Now coming to the exams, remember there's only 25%, and if you do the quizzes and the homework and the lab reports, you should have no problem in taking the exams and scoring high. If you find shortcuts, then the exams are going to be tough. Now for the exams, you are using the HonorLock extension, which you can use on Google Chrome. So the exams can only be taken on Google Chrome, because the HonorLock extension is an extension for Google Chrome only. Now there is a practice exam which you have to take in order to take exam 1, and there in the practice exam we will iron out if there are any difficulties. That's where we will know, okay? So you got to take that. The exam, now as I told you, is taken using HonorLock with a camera. You have to show me the environment, the top of the table, all scratch sheets you're using, and believe me that you should not give me any idea of malpractice, because I am going to watch the video very carefully. Okay, the work again showing the formula, substitution, answer must be provided for all questions that involve calculations and must be turned in on Blackboard at the end of the test. Okay. So you'll have to take the test and then come back, and I will post a link where you turn in the work. It has to be done immediately after you finish the exam. Let's say within 10 minutes of you finishing the exam. Now, partial credit will be given. Even if the answer is wrong, you have correct steps, maybe a couple or maybe just one, you will get partial credit. On the other hand, if the answer is correct and there is no work, you will lose points. No, absolutely no work is a 0. So please show all the works. Exams will open at 8 p.m. and close at 11:58 p.m. on the scheduled day. Now, online anytime does not mean that it will be open for 3 days. It's only going to be open from 8 p.m. to 11:58 p.m. Okay, so that's on a Friday. So make sure you mark your calendars. The timing is given to be very convenient from 8 p.m. to 11:58 p.m. on the scheduled day. You'll only get the 80 minutes if you start on time. So if you start at 11 p.m., you're only going to get 58 minutes. Make sure you start as early as possible at 8 p.m. Okay, you'll only see one question at a time. You will not be able to go back to the previous question because it's an online testing environment. You must be seated at a desk. Of course, no headphones, no earbuds or smartwatches. The initial room must be shown, as I told you. You may use the printed formula sheet. I'm providing you a formula sheet. And you can't add anything on that. You have to also show me the formula sheet while you show me the scratch sheets. Of course, you cannot use any notebooks or any other electronic devices. They have to be kept far away from you, okay? You only can have a calculator. Yes, you can have a physical calculator, but I'm also providing a scientific calculator on the browser in case your physical calculator, for some reason does not work. So you can only use the calculator, the laptop on which you're taking the exam. Oh, that reminds me, you cannot use an iPad to take this exam. No way. You cannot, because you always run into problems, and so you have to have a laptop. Any attempt of malpractice will require attendance in a Zoom meeting. So I'll set up a Zoom meeting if I feel, that there is some malpractice. And in the Zoom meeting, I will try to understand if you understood the correct answers that you gave. So if you're given like 3 or 4 correct answers, and I will just ask you a couple of questions about the setup and ask you how that question is answered and explain it to me. So please be careful about that. You must not read the questions loudly. You must not copy the questions. You have to put question numbers clearly. Okay, so that all is given. Now, you have to read the honesty statement in particular. Read that and all the other stuff that's given there. Please go through that. So that's your syllabus. Let's go back to the course, and you will go to the course materials info, but let's go to Start Here. Now, in Start Here, I'm explaining using another video how to turn in lab reports. Of course, this is for another course, but essentially the method is the same. So click on this and watch the video. It'll tell you how to turn in lab reports. The HonorLock extension link is given there. So what you have to do is click on this. The extension is already added. You can see that. So that's how you add the extension to Google Chrome for you to take the exams. Now, how to show work for problems. So here is the sample problem that I was talking about. Now, don't worry about the question here. You may not be able to work it out right now, but it's the format. So you have the question. First thing is, what's the given data? The mass is given, the initial velocity, the final velocity, how much it moved, and what you got to find. So that's what I mean by given data. Everything that's given, including what you got to find with a question mark. And then the next part, very important, is you list the formula given. And the formula must be as I've given it on the formula sheet. It cannot be a different format. So you have to, because you're using the formula sheet to get the formula, it must be in the format that I have given. Okay? And then you substitute the numbers with the units, as you can see. go through the steps of the calculation, get the answer. Now, this question has two parts. So I get the answer to the first part, and then there is a second formula, which you also list and substitute to get the final answer. I hope that's very clear. So once again, remember that the formulas must be given as I have it on the formula sheet. Okay? So that's the sample question. Now, this is the format that you have to show me in the lab reports, the exams, and the work for homework questions. Okay. Then when you go to the course content, you see the basic math review, which you can look at, open it if you want to. Just brush up on the math, algebra, and the trig. Here's the first chapter. Look at the resources I have provided. You have the lecture, you have the chapter 1 notes, you have the problem set 1. Let me just click on that. Now, this is the document where you have the problems. And this is a YouTube video that I've made where I show you how to work out the problems. I'm not clicking on that, but you can do that, watch it, understand how problems are worked out. Physics is not an easy subject, and it takes a lot of time and effort. And I'm trying to do everything possible to help you by giving you the resources. Well, of course, you can click here and go to the next one that I've provided. Now, that's the UJAP video. So let me just go straight here. So this is how you take the video quizzes. For each chapter, you have a quiz, a video quiz. So click on that. It'll bring you exactly to what we had. You see the due date. Then you click on launch, and then it brings you to the video. Okay, please play the video, take the quiz. You have like about 10 questions. When you click on this, the video will play. It will stop right at the questions and then give you time to answer that. Please answer in full sentences. Many of them will be multiple choice. Take your time, use your notes. This is how you learn and prepare for the exam, okay? Make sure you have enough time and don't rush through this, because then the exams will become harder. So that's how you take the quizzes. Okay, going back. So once again, we are in start here. So I told you all that. And course content, of course, we are in the course content. So if you go once again to chapter 1, you see the homework. So when you click on this, you see the homework is due on the 11th, which is tomorrow. Click on this. It should take you to the WebAssign platform. If it is the first time, you'll have to register, sign in. Now, I am signing in as an instructor. So let's see if it'll work, because you have to sign in as a student. So it says your registration is not complete. So if it's the first time and you have never used Cengage or WebAssign, you will have to register on Cengage. Okay, it'll lead you and let you register just one time, and after that, when you click on the link, you will be able to see the questions. Here is where you turn in the work for homework. So once again, it's due at the same time, so just after you finish the homework, you just turn in the work neatly, and you will have 100 points for each. So that's worth 200 points. And like I said, if you don't show me the work and only turn in the answers, you only get 50% of the grade, okay? All right, so that's the same thing for every chapter. So every chapter you have the notes, the resources that I have provided. You have the UJA quiz, you have the homework, and you have the work. Okay. All right. Now, an important thing, there's only one time probably that you would use the discussion board, maybe more, and that is the self-introduction. So that's due on the 12th. Okay, so I have given my introduction. All you got to do is click here, type in your introduction, just tell me who you are, what your career ambitions are, how you're going to prepare for the physics course, and so on, whatever you want us to know. Okay, So that's what and it's worth a quiz grade. How about starting the course with 100% on a quiz? Do it. It will not be extended. It's due on the 12th. All right, and then let's go to that. Here's an important discussion link. Ask your class. Because I'm just as human as you are. I might forget to post something, or you have a question about something. And instead of each one emailing me, unless it's a personal question, what you should do is you should click on this and then type your response and say, hey, I thought homework number 1 was due on such and such day. I do not see the link. Now that's just an example or something. You do not know how to work out a particular problem. Put that there. Somebody is going to give you a hint. Remember, I use the word hint, not the answer, but the hint. Or I might step in and give you a hint. So whatever your problem is, your question is, you're struggling with something, or you don't see a grade or whatever, just post it here. Makes it easy for me to come in instead of answering 100 emails every day. It's easier for me to go to all the courses that I'm teaching. Look at that. Did any student have a question? Answer that, because that's what it is for. Make use of it. Okay. And anybody who steps in and gives answers like hints or leads others, you're going to get extra credit on the exams. I won't tell you how much, but you're going to get it. That's Ask Your Class, and then you have a bunch of critical thinking and stuff like that. I think I forgot to turn in the lab report thing. So now I have turned on the labs, which was not visible earlier. So if you go to the labs, you see the sample lab report that I was talking about. It's here. Click on that and open it. You will see the sample lab report. It's just an example. Got to give you a name, the course name. I've printed it out, the date. And then remember, you have to have an introduction. You can add that introduction right here on the cover page at the bottom. You have to have an introduction. It's 5 points. Then this is the document that I have provided. Then here is where you will enter the data. You will enter the data either by taking the data from a video that I've made or from a simulation. So remember that if it's a simulation, there must be at least 3 screenshots of the simulation to make sure that you've done it. And I should be able to see the numbers showing clearly in the screenshots. 3 screenshots. That carries 15% of the grade. So if you miss that, you're going to miss 15%. Then you answer the questions. Did you notice that all of them are handwritten? Yeah, just answer those questions. If there's a diagram. And then at the end, you have a conclusion. Now, conclusion carries 10 points. And what do I mean by conclusion? Okay, don't tell me what you did in the lab. Tell me 3 things. Number 1, what did you learn from the lab? Number 2, what are the sources of error and how could they be minimized? Number 3, what is the real-life application of this lab? Give me at least 1 real-life application. Again, conclusion must have 3 parts. Couple of lines for what did you learn from the lab, and then maybe 4 or 5 lines on the sources of error and how they could be minimized. And the most important part is a real-life application in a small paragraph of how this lab helps you. That is the lab report. So let me go away from that. Excuse me. So here's where you turn in the lab report. Look, lab report 1. So after you have downloaded the document that I've given you, and here is the document I'm talking about. See, I have it as a Word document and PDF. Use whatever you want. So this is the document that you print out. Okay? You print it out. I've already provided, at least for the first one, there's an introduction part and there's a conclusion. Just to remind you, you have to add a cover page, okay? And then fill it in. Just fill it in and then scan it as a PDF and save it on your computer. After you save it, You come here and then you view the instructions. There is a rubric that shows you how the points are distributed. And I've given you 2 attempts only for the first lab because it's the first time you might make a mistake. So there are 2 attempts for the first lab. So you view the instructions and then you can drag and drop the file that you have saved here. Okay, you can just drag it and drop it there and then hit submit. Don't forget, and it'll come to me with the timestamp. Now, once the time has passed, you will not see the link. So the link will not work past 11:59 p.m. So if you keep it till the last minute, probably that's what's going to happen. Computers fail. The power might fail. So please do not keep it to the last minute because assignments will not be extended. Okay. So same way for lab 2, you can see how to do lab 2. This is where you turn it in. Lab 3, I've not opened this. It will be opened in due time. So I think I've explained how to do quizzes, how to do the homework, turn in the work, and how to complete the lab reports and turn it in. So that is how it is. Okay, I don't think I have anything else to say except, remember I told you the best way to access the calendar is going to the calendar here, and then on the 10th, you see that the quiz is due. Just click on that. If you go to the 11th, which is tomorrow, you see, you got the chapter 1 introduction homework, the work for the homework, you have lab report 1. This is a safe place because now you will not miss anything. Okay? Same way. So it's all populated at least for 1 week, and this will show up soon. Okay, so everything for week 1. This is the practice exam set up on Friday. You just click on this and it'll take you to the practice test. Let's see if it's open. Maybe I opened it by mistake. Let's see. Okay, it's not open yet because it'll open only at 8 p.m. on Friday. Remember that. So you will be able to take that. And before that, have the HonorLock extension installed and read about it and, see how you take the exam and all that. That's all I have for you. If you have any questions, if I've not explained anything, please go to Ask Your Class and post it there. And do not forget, what is due today? 10th. What is due today? You have the UJA quiz on the first chapter, okay? So wish you all the best on this, in this course. Wish you all the best in this course, and I'm here to help you, to support you, but you have to decide to have time scheduled to do an 8-week physics course, okay? You have to. I know many of you are working, and that's why you signed up for an online course. I know that. But if there was a shortcut, I would have told you. There is no shortcut. You have to have the time to read the stuff from the textbook, to watch the video, to do all the stuff that you have to do. And it's a fast-paced 8-week course. Wish you all the very best. Thank you.